Hi, I'm Ryan. I'm 34 years old. I drive a big truck through the mountains. I've been doing this for 10 years. There's one road I don't like at all. It's called the Fog Pass. The fog there is so thick it feels alive. People in town tell stories about a ghost lady. They say she died on that road a long time ago. Her car crashed and now she walks the road at night. I never thought it was real. I laughed at those stories. But last week something scary happened to me. It's been stuck in my head ever since. I can't stop thinking about it. Stay and listen to my story. It's super weird and creepy. It was Tuesday night after midnight. I had to take some boxes to the next town. The fog pass was the only way to get there. The fog was everywhere. I could only see a few feet ahead. My truck's lights didn't help much. This road always makes me feel spooky. That night it felt even worse. The air felt heavy, like something was watching me. I turned on my radio to feel better. It played a song I liked. But then the song stopped. I heard a funny noise instead. I thought about the stories I heard. Old people in town told me a lady crashed her car here years ago. She died and now her ghost stays on the road. They said she looks for people driving at night. I thought it was just a silly tale to scare kids. I kept driving, but my hands felt sweaty. Then an hour into my drive, I saw her. A person stood on the road waving at me. I hit the brakes hard. My heart started beating so fast. She looked strange and it made me shake all over. I looked hard through the wet window of my truck. The fog made it hard to see. She was standing right there, all wet like she'd been in the rain. Her clothes were torn and dirty. They looked old, like from a long time ago. I couldn't see her face at first. Then she turned to me. Her face, it was wrong. She had no eyes, just big, empty holes where eyes should be. Her mouth was too big, like it was torn open. It looked like a scary smile. I got so scared. I turned the wheel fast to miss her. My truck slid a little on the wet road. Then she was gone like magic into the fog. I stopped for a second. I took a deep breath. I told myself it was my tired brain playing tricks. I'd been driving all day. Maybe I was seeing things. But when I checked my side mirror, she was back staring at me. Those empty eye spots looked right at me. I could feel her looking. My hands shook on the wheel. I pushed the gas hard to get away. I kept looking back, but she was still in my mind. I couldn't stop seeing her face. I thought about my mom. She always told me to be careful on this road. I wished I listened to her more. My truck made a funny noise. I looked at the road. It was empty now, but I felt like she was still watching me. I murmured to myself, "Come on, Ryan, stay calm. It's just the fog. It can't hurt me. I'm okay. I'll be okay. I just need to keep driving." A few miles later, I heard a big bump on my truck's roof. It was so loud, I slowed down. My hands were shaking a lot. I grabbed my flashlight and looked outside. The fog was thick, but I saw long scratches on the top of my truck. They were deep and new. I walked around, but no one was there. I looked up at the sky. Nothing, just fog and darkness. I felt cold all over. Then I saw my back door was open a tiny bit. Something had been inside. I shut it quick and locked it. I jumped back in my truck. I drove fast. My heart wouldn't stop beating fast. What was that thing? Was it her? I kept driving, trying to forget her face. Then I saw a sign on the road. It said Fog Pass 10 miles. But something was wrong. The sign had red marks on it like handprints. They looked wet, like they were just made. I stopped my truck. I got out to look. The fog was so thick I could barely see the sign. The red marks were sticky. I touched one and it smelled funny, like metal. My stomach felt sick. I looked around, but the fog hid everything. I heard a soft noise like a laugh. It came from the fog. I got back in my truck fast. I didn't want to stop anymore. I had to check my truck. I stopped again and opened the back door. The boxes were fine, but there was water on the floor. I saw wet footprints. They went to a corner, then stopped. I felt so cold. Who made those? I looked closer. The water was muddy, like from a puddle. I heard a drip sound. Drip, drip, drip. It came from the corner. I shined my light there. Nothing, just shadows. But then I saw something, a piece of cloth. It was torn like her clothes. I dropped it fast. I closed the door and locked it. I sat in my seat trying to think. The fog outside looked darker now. Was she still out there? I didn't want to know. I just wanted to go home. A few miles more, my radio went crazy. It made static noises, then a voice said, "Ryan." I almost fell out of my seat. I changed the station, but the voice stayed. It got clearer. "You left me." I felt ice in my body. Years ago, I hit something on this road. I thought it was a deer. I kept going and never told anyone. The guilt stayed with me. I felt bad every day. Was it her? That night, her scary face was in my mirror again, closer. Those empty eyes looked mad. I knew she was after me. I didn't know what to do. No, 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 this can't be true. Go away, leave me alone. I didn't mean it. I couldn't drive anymore. My hands shook too much. I pulled into a gas station. The man working there didn't see anything weird. He just smiled and said hi. I started filling my truck. Then I saw her in the fog, her broken face, that big mouth just looking at me. I ran inside fast. My heart was beating so hard, I looked around the station. It was small with old lights. On the wall was an old picture. It showed a lady from a crash in 1998. She had the same torn clothes as the ghost. My stomach felt sick. How did she know my name? I asked the man about the picture. He told me a story. I didn't want to hear it, but I had to know. Hey, who's that in the picture?
Oh, just an old story. She died out there long ago. Some say her ghost stays on the road. It's a very strange story.
Yeah, really strange. Did she ever talk to people?
Some say she calls their name. Why, are you okay?
As I left, my truck horn started honking by itself, loud and scary. I looked under the hood. There was a wet handprint on the engine, dripping water. I wiped it off, but the horn kept going. I looked around. The fog was so thick. I heard a soft whisper. Ryan, it was her. I jumped back in my truck. I drove away fast. My heart beat so fast. She was playing with me, and it felt worse every minute. I didn't know what she wanted. Back on the road, the fog got thicker. I tried to find my way, but it was like a maze. I turned left, then right, but the road looked the same. I heard a soft laugh, her laugh. It came from everywhere. I stopped and looked around. Her shape was in the fog, far away, then close. I turned my truck again. The road felt like it went in circles. I couldn't tell which way to go. She was trapping me. I wanted to cry. I just wanted to get out of there. The fog closed in. My truck made funny noises, then stopped. I grabbed my flashlight, my heart beating fast. There she was right at my window. Her empty face was against the glass. Her mouth got bigger, whispering, "You left me, Ryan." I remembered that night long ago, the big bump I ignored. I felt so guilty. I wanted to say sorry. Then she was inside, sitting next to me. Her broken face was so close. Those empty eyes looked deep into mine. I yelled, opened the door, and ran. The fog took me, but her voice followed me. I ran and ran. I didn't know where I was going. Her scream was in my ears. She wouldn't stop.
You can't run. You left me to die.
Go away, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry, please stop. I'll do anything. I tripped and fell on the wet ground. When I looked up, she was there again, her empty eyes glowing. She pointed at me, her big mouth moving. "You owe me," she said. I crawled away, crying, until I found the road again. Her scream stayed in my ears. She wouldn't let me go. I got up and kept running. I didn't stop until I saw lights far away. I made it to a gas station far away. My lungs hurt bad. I called the police. They looked but found nothing. They said it was just the fog messing with me. But at home, her whispers came from my phone, all staticky, saying my name. I looked outside. Her empty face was in the streetlight. I moved to a new town and changed my job. But last night, I heard her again through the wall. She's still out there. She knows what I did. Maybe she'll come for me soon. Like and subscribe for more scary stories like these.